name is Laura Jo Liefers, and I am an attorney at Moyer Law Group in St. Petersburg, Florida. I practice construction defect litigation. I am also on the board of directors of the Pinellas chapter of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, PFAWL. The conversation you are about to see is about the very important topic of work-life balance. It's related to an article that was recently published in the Fall Journal. And this project was made possible by a grant from the Florida Bar Young Lawyer Division. We have gathered female professionals from all across Pinellas County. In addition to lawyers, we have women from other professions with the hope that we can help each other and learn from each other. The first two topics we will be discussing are minimizing regrets and refusing to settle. I hope you enjoy the conversation. We are here today at Tech Data in Clearwater, Florida. I'm with some sharp female professionals from across Tampa Bay to discuss some very important topics. I would like to have everyone here introduce themselves.
Hi, Angie Beltz with Tech Data. I'm the Global Vice President of the Cisco Strategy here at Tech Data. I've been here 16 and a half years and really enjoy working in the technology industry.
Hi, I'm Christy Kinstrom. I'm with Raymond James Financial. I've been with the firm for 25 years. I lead our Wealth Solutions division, our high net worth consulting division of the firm. I'm also the co-chair of the Women's Interactive Network.
Hello, my name is Siobhan Dahlquist. I am a board member of the Pinellas County chapter of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, PFAWL. I've been on the board several years, this year as their public relations director, and I also work with Raymond James Trust. I am their fiduciary consultant. I've been with Raymond James Trust for 4.5 years, assessing legal and fiduciary risk for most of the accounts that are coming to the trust company.
All right, ladies, we are going to go through Angie Beltz's top 10 tips for work-life balance, an article that will be published in the Fall Journal this summer. So I want to start with minimizing regrets. Each of you, if you could maybe start with you, Angie, why is it important to you to minimize regrets?
I think part of the challenge that we have with making decisions and the pressure we put on ourselves to be perfect is that it's all about the regrets. And I think understanding and accepting that we will have regrets helps us to be able to move through that and be able to just focus on minimizing them. And that just means prioritizing what's most important. No woman is ever going to walk away from raising a family and or being a professional saying she has zero regrets, no matter what. So I think just acknowledging the fact that it really does hold us back and being able to just face it head on and figure out what's most important and minimize the down road type of regrets is the best way to approach it.
And especially because you're working full-time, you are with your family at home, you have other obligations. Christy, what do you try to do to minimize regrets on a day-to-day basis?
There's a quote that I love that's a Mark Twain quote, and that is, perfect is the enemy of good. And oftentimes when we try to seek perfection, we prolong the process, we put ourselves in a position of where we're questioning ourselves instead of moving forward. And so if we're thoughtful and we know the decision that we're making is appropriate, and we can just let that regret go, that second guessing, and move forward.
And that takes practice, right?
It does.
letting regrets go or letting them roll off, that's not something that happens overnight. It's very important that it's a challenge every day. Right. Siobhan, tell us about some of your challenges that you face with minimizing regrets.
I've learned to be present at each stage that I'm in. So if I'm at work, I'm fully at work. I am not focusing on the children's activities or the board meeting that I have to go to. I am at work. If I'm with the children, I put my phone away and I am present for what they're doing, because they're not going to remember how hard mommy worked. They're going to remember whether I was there at their practices, whether I showed up at their dance recitals. They're going to remember me being there.
And your children are how old?
6 and 8.
And so do you think as they grow up and they'll begin to understand more that you are working full-time and that, the sacrifices that you have to make both at work and at home really They really need to be balanced out, and you can't make every practice. You can't make you can't get to work at 7 a.m. and leave at 7 p.m.
Right.
I mean, those things are things that we have to deal with every day, regardless of whether or not you have kids or pets or the boards you're on or anything like that.
I think they're very aware. Sometimes, at least 2 to 3 times a week, I'm working from home. So, or working after hours. And if I'm working with my children, I call it homework, and we are doing our homework together. A lot of times I try to work after they go to bed. It means I don't get as much sleep as I'd like, but you have to do certain things. And I just try to manage our responsibilities at home versus how much work I have to do. So if I have to work over the weekend, they are playing outside so that I'm not impacting what they're doing. It's just give and take. And every day is different. No day is ever the same. And I'm just trying to survive one day at a time.
I think that's great advice. You have to just take it one day at a time. So our second tip on work-life balance is not settling. Do not settle. Angie, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think as I've mentored women, whether they're just entering their career or have been in a career for 20 years, I've found the most important thing where happiness really comes into play has to do with the passion that you have for what you do. And it may be not necessarily in the actual job that you have, but it's in the surrounding benefits of the job. So where the job may be requiring a lot of hours and that's something you don't necessarily like, or it uses a lot of energy because you're thinking constantly, trying to create, trying to solve for. If you have something else that's your outlet for passion, that's a really good thing. I've also met a lot of women who just feel so trapped in a career that they feel like they have to settle and they're stuck. And what I've told them is you have options, and we literally will start talking through what skills they have and what can be transferable and what do they like, what do they find interesting. A lot of times when we start out our careers, we don't necessarily know exactly what we want or what we like, and so I think having the options down the road and having a good support system helps us to not have to settle for what we make a decision going into our career on.
And I know you do some work with students, helping them find those skills, helping them realize the things that they might be interested in that they didn't really know. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually I do this in a couple ways. The biggest is with the Exploratory Lab Boot Camp, which is a college overlay program that we launched about 18 months ago. Tech Data's hosted 3 boot camps now, a total of about 70 students. And it's been really fantastic because it's been a learning experience for us as well, learning about a lot of the gaps that are being taught and or consulted to students as they're going through high school and into college around what is available out there. And what we've been able to do is instill a lot of confidence in the students in acknowledging what skills they do have, what they are interested in, and basically what jobs are out there that they can actually go into and truly enjoy. And it's been really incredible to see the students just blossom and break through their own fears, their own barriers that have been set by others who have kind of wrapped them up in this little box, and really getting them to acknowledge early what their skills are that they can use throughout their career.
And that can be done not just for students but for females throughout their career. Really looking at what you're interested in, what you find, where you find your passion. I think that's really important.
Absolutely. I feel that there are a lot of women that reach about mid-30s or even up to about mid-50s even, looking to make a change. They just have decided they're done with the industry that they've been in, the career that they've been in, and the problem is they feel this fear of I'm trapped, I can't move. When you actually tear down what the limitations are, it all comes down to transferable skills.
Christy, tell us a little bit about how you refuse to settle.
So 25 years with the same firm. I left in the middle. I left the firm for 3 years to wholesale for a mutual fund company, which was very eye-opening for me. Having been born and raised in Raymond James, I say that I bleed blue, but to be able to walk the halls of other financial firms that were our competitors and see what that real difference was. But the skill that I know that I picked up by working for the same firm for so long was you see the bigger picture, you see the role that you're in, you see what the firm needs. And it's not a job posting. It's what the firm needs and what skill set you have to bring to that. Most of the jobs that I've had at the firm were not job postings. They were something that I observed that the firm needed.
And you let the firm know. You presented your position and what you thought was important, right?
Absolutely. And we also coach and mentor women with our Women's Interactive Network program. And that's something that we do encourage folks to look at. Look within your own department, your own field. You're a star where you are already. You want to advance, but you want to advance within this firm and help the firm advance. So who's going to know better than the folks who are in the middle of that? And we really do encourage folks, write your own ticket.
Yes. Siobhan,
Yes.
do you have any tips or tricks for not settling?
I don't know how to settle.
Well, that makes it easy and hard at the same
Well,
time.
no. So after law school, I was a staff attorney down in Palm Beach, and then I accepted a traditional job as an attorney, estate planning attorney down in Palm Beach, and I wasn't happy. I loved the field that I was in. I loved the practice area, but I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and so I started putting out some feelers. And one of those feelers found me to Raymond James Trust. And so I took a leap of faith, and it was a huge leap of faith because I'm not practicing law. I'm using my law degree and my experience in a completely different way and trying to make that decision to come to a completely different area and a completely different profession in the financial institution where, can I do my budget? It was very scary, but it's been very rewarding. And I'm very happy with how it's turned out. I'm challenged every single day. I've had a lot of growth in my field and in other different areas that affect my field, and I think it was a very positive move.
And the passion that we're talking about, each of you got to where you are because you're very passionate, you're very hardworking, and that comes with a not so perfect work-life balance, right? I mean, that's just something that we have to accept. I hope you enjoyed listening in on our conversation today. I hope you learned something and you are inspired. And remember that PFAWL is here to support you. We'll see you next time.